So today we're going to be looking at the MoreYoga air and ether flow. This is a heart opening, upper back, upper chest, shoulder opening sequence. We're working with the higher chakras, so heart and throat mainly. And we will be exploring back bends in a few different postures. So we're going to start with a heart opening, and Luana is already lying on a bolster. We're going to get Sophie to lie on blocks. So you can get people to do different things, and I think, Sophie, if you can put the blocks the other way. So we're going to put them, yeah, that's it, lovely, yeah. And then what you want is your shoulder blades on the first block, and then the back of your head on the second block. For some people that might be, yeah, you need to slide it back a bit. And for some people that might be really strong, so they can always put the second block up this way. Okay, so just make sure that you give those options in class. If you're teaching a class and you don't have any of these props, because you're not always going to have them, you can ask people to roll up their mat, and they can lie either like this, so that's kind of the Luana effect, so you can use it as if it's a bolster, or you can place it like this, and this is kind of the Sophie version, but not quite. We don't have anything underneath the head. And just lie there. So the legs can just come into whichever position feels good for you. So Luana has, well, both Luana and Sophie have chosen Badaknasana, so soles of the feet together, knees wide. And you can also just extend the legs. So really whatever works for you. Yeah, just take what works. What we're really focusing here is the heart opening, the chest opener. And Sophie, I would suggest that you can bring your arms a little bit further away from your body. Yeah, and then really let the shoulders drop in between those blocks. How does that feel? Yeah, it feels nice, doesn't it? You might even want to bring that block, the one that is close, yeah, that one, not the one under your head, just a little bit further back. No, the other way. Yeah. So that you get optimal support. So you want to feel really supported, super supported. Lovely. We'll take a few deep breaths here. And really get the breath lifting into the chest. So as you inhale, really feel that nice big opening. As you exhale, just let those shoulders drop. So if you're on the bolster, it feels a little bit like a reverse hug of the bolster. And if you're on the bricks, you're just letting the shoulders drop in that area in between the two bricks. So you really want to soften, not just through the back of the shoulders, but also the top of the shoulders where they meet the neck. Lovely. And we all carry a lot of tension there. It's quite normal, quite common from carrying heavy bags, working at desks, driving cars, and getting stressed. So we'll just take a few more breaths. Nice, deep breaths. Okay, so we're slowly going to come out of this. So Sophie, you're going to bring your feet flat on the mat and just bend your knees. Luana, you can do that as well, actually. And you can roll over, or Sophie, it might feel better to just sit up. So Luana, you can roll over. Yeah, we're going to remove the props and we're going to come and lie on our backs. So just come and lie on your backs. You can give me that prop, Luana. I'll just get it out of the way. Lovely. So we're just going to come and lie on our backs with our knees bent so that we can really rest that upper back into the mat, and just take a moment to feel that. So how does that feel to you? And consciously relax and rest the upper back. So just let those shoulders melt. It can feel quite strong. It feels stronger sometimes when you come out of the pose than when you're in it. Okay, and then we're going to take the right knee into the chest. And we're just going to hug it in and just take a few breaths there. You can be still, you can move around a little bit if you're really feeling that you want to move. Yeah, just make it your own. Okay, and then we're going to take that right knee with the left hand, and we're going to take a twist here. So Luana has already intuitively extended her leg, and so has Sophie actually, but you can do it either way. So maybe Sophie, you can show us with a slightly bent knee. It doesn't need to be too bent, but yeah. So it's kind of a really soft pose, and Luana's taking a slightly stronger version, and then just relax that right hand. It might want to lift. It doesn't matter if the right shoulder lifts, that's absolutely fine. And it doesn't matter if the left knee is on the mat or not. It might not be anywhere close, that's absolutely fine. Just connect to what you're experiencing and feeling in the pose. Just a few breaths. And supine twists are really nice to release back and shoulder tension. And then let's roll back onto our backs, bend both knees. Just lift the hips so that you bring them back to center, and then take your left knee into your chest and take a few breaths there with your left knee into your chest. Lovely. Moving or being still, up to you. Excellent. Yeah, and Luana's extending the leg. That's absolutely fine. Make things your own. Good. I always say yoga's not boot camp. I know some teachers are really strict, but it's quite nice to just find your own way with things. And then take your right hand over your left knee, draw the knee across. Yeah, and Sophie's showing it with a soft knee. Luana with an extended leg. We'll take a few breaths here. Yeah. And then let's roll onto our backs. We're going to use our feet to realign the hips. Excellent. And then just bring both knees into the chest. Give them a hug and give yourself a little rock from side to side. Just take any movements that feel good. So you've already done a bit of work on the spine and on the shoulders. So just maybe feeling that as you move around. Lovely. And then we're just going to rock back and rock up. And you can roll onto your side if you prefer, if you feel that that's safer for you. And then we're going to come onto all fours, onto hands and knees. And we're just going to take a really simple movement. It's quite nice though. We're just going to rock the hips forwards and then rock them back towards child's pose. But you can make it a small movement or a larger movement if you already feel ready. Just nice and smooth. It doesn't need to be a big movement, okay? So just loosening joints up a little bit. And then on the next round, you're just going to press into child's pose. So sit back onto your heels, stretch your arms forwards. Lovely. You can have your knees a little bit wide as both Sophie and Luana are demoing. And then stretch the arms forwards. Breathe there, nice deep breaths, breathing in. And Luana, if you wanted to, you could have a block underneath your forehead here. We're not going to stay here long, but just to give people modifications. So if the head is not coming to the mat, might be quite nice just to get that support. Lovely. And then we're going to come onto all fours. Excellent. And we're going to tuck the toes under, lift the knees, press into a downward dog and just pedal the feet a little bit. So bend one knee, bend the other, just move around a bit. And then drop the knees to the mat. As you inhale, you're going to open your chest, look ahead. Exhale, round the spine, press back into child's pose. Inhale, lift up, open the chest, bring your weight forwards. Exhale, release onto your belly. Inhale to small cobra. Exhale, press back onto your sitting bones into child's pose. Inhale, open the chest, look upwards. Exhale, release all the way onto your belly. Inhale to cobra and exhale to child's pose. So just continue through this flow. Just find a nice rhythm with breath and movement. Lovely. Yeah, make it your own. Lovely. Let's take two more. Yeah, and Luana and Sophia are creating slightly different versions. It's perfect. Just really working with the breath. So you're making this a moving meditation. Let's take our last one. So coming into your child's pose and then coming back onto all fours and into your downward dog. Once again, just pedaling it through. And this time we're going to walk the hands to the feet. And we'll just take a little flow from side to side. So you can leave your fingertips on the mat. I would recommend you bend your knees for this one. You can take hold of your elbows and just dangle from side to side. If your hamstrings are feeling tight, just bend the knees. Don't torture yourself, okay? I still bend my knees after over 20 years of practice when I take my first ones, just because it feels nicer and kinder. And then come back to center, release the hands to the mat, softly bend the knees. Let's roll up nice and smoothly and mindfully, no rush. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, the hands to the mat. Let's walk into our downward dog. Lovely. Just hold it for a few breaths. Just take time to find it. Yeah, beautiful. Nice long spines. Nice deep breaths, activation through the palms. So the palms, the fingers are nice and broad, connected to the earth. And then just drop your knees to your mat. So we're going to take that forward and backwards movement, and maybe we can make it a little bit bigger now. So maybe almost coming into like a kind of lazy cobra. So just playing with this movement. Just seeing what your body is ready for, okay? So it's not about forcing, pushing. Just gentle movement backwards and forwards. And then press into child's pose. Just take a few breaths there once again. And if you need any props, you're welcome to use props. If your body in the meantime has gotten a little bit warmer and is going a little bit deeper, then you can leave it there. Lovely. And then let's come back onto all fours, opening the chest, exhaling the chest down. Inhale to cobra. So just another round of what we did before, this little flow to prepare us for our sun salutations. Inhale up. Exhale, release. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, press back. Let's take 3 more. Just flow nice and fluidly. Lovely. Good. Couple more. Just at your own pace. And everybody's breath is different in length and depth. So the pace will often be different. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's come back onto all fours and back into our downward dog. We'll take a few breaths there. Yeah, lovely. So pressing into the hands, drawing the navel in. So really finding that lift up into the sitting bones. And then that drawing down through the heels. So it doesn't matter if your heels are connected to the earth. If they're lifting, that's absolutely fine. Lovely. And then we're going to walk the feet to the front of the mat. Let's come onto fingertips, just that halfway lift. So fingertips to mat or hands to shin. We're going to open up the chest lift. Exhale, fold to release. Let's bend the knees. We're going to roll all the way up. Sweep the arms up. Take a nice big inhale as you lift. Exhale, the hands to the mat. So we're going to be moving into our Surya A's. Inhale, lengthen, look ahead. Step your right leg back. We're going to drop the right knee, point the toes, and float the arms up. So coming into Crescent Lunge. And we're really going to focus on that opening of the chest. So the problem with back bends is that we often dip into the lower back. Can you really try to open the front body and open the lower back and find your back bend from there? So no pressure on the lower back. Beautiful. Now bow down over that front leg and step into plank to take a vinyasa of choice. Lovely. So you can take knees, chest, chin, or if you're ready for chaturanga, that's fine. Lovely. Downward dog. Let's take a few breaths there. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling fully. Inhale. Exhale. Few more. Inhale. Exhale. Let's softly bend those knees. Walk or jump, your choice, to the front of the mat. Inhale, float up into halfway lift. Exhale, fold and release. Roll up, sweep the arms up. Take a nice big inhale as you reach the palms to the ceiling. Exhale, the hands down to the mat, by all the way down. Inhale, float up, halfway lift. Step your left leg back, drop your knee, point your toes. Reach the arms up, come into that crescent lunge. Lovely. Nice opening through the chest. Yeah, beautiful, good. Breathing in and breathing out, really finding that lift, but keeping the lower back open, not dropping into it. Really opening up that area to find the back bend through the upper body. It's not in the lower back, it really is in the upper body. Release the hands to the mat, take your vinyasa of choice. So plank, knees, chest, chin, chaturanga, cobra, upward dog, and downward dog. We'll take a few breaths there. Breathing in and breathing out. Lovely, good. I don't know if you can hear the breathing in on film, but there's some beautiful breathing going on here. So that nice full breath. It doesn't need to be like dog Veda style, okay? But nice and full, nice and deep. Let's softly bend the knees, walk, jump to the front of the mat. As you inhale, lengthen the spine, look ahead. As you exhale, fold and release. Let's roll up, sweep the arms up, big inhale, lift. Exhale, bow down, hands to mat. Inhale, lengthen, look ahead, step your right leg back. Drop your knee, point your toes, reach the arms up. So now we're going to reach the arms up, then we're going to interlace the fingers behind the head. Yeah. And let's just scoop the elbows in a little bit, really lift the chest and start turning those elbows towards the ceiling. But once again, as I mentioned, we're not dipping into the lower back. We're really lengthening, opening the front body. Breathe there. Lovely. Good. Yeah, you can scoop the elbows in a little bit, Sophie, and really drop the head into the hands. There you go. Lovely. And then we're going to reach the arms up. Bow down, release the hands to the mat, and take a vinyasa of choice. Downward dog. Lovely. Deep breaths. And if it feels nice to kind of rock the hips from side to side, yeah. Let's softly bend the knees, walk, jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen, look ahead. Exhale, fold and release. Let's slowly roll up, sweep the arms up. Take a nice big inhale as you lift. Exhale, the hands to the mat. Inhale, float the chest up, lengthen, look ahead. Left leg back. Let's drop the knee, point the toes, reach the arms up. And then interlace the fingers behind the head once again. Yeah, and just be mindful of not dipping into the lower back. So I know I keep repeating myself, but it is deliberate because it's very easy to do that. And then you finish your practice and you go, oh, my lower back is bothering me. So engage Uddiyana Bandha, especially that navel to spine. Lovely, nice engagement, Sophie. Good. And then reach the arms up. And then fold over that front leg, vinyasa. And downward dog. Excellent. Lovely. Let's softly bend the knees, walk, jump to the front of the mat. As you inhale, lift the chest, lengthen. And as you exhale, fold. Let's roll up, sweep the arms up, big inhale, lift. Exhale, hands to mat. Inhale, lengthen, look ahead, step your right leg back, drop your knee, point your toes, reach your arms up. And then we're going to take the hands behind the head, once again taking that opening. So Really get that lift, lift, lift through the middle of the chest, reaching up. And then from here, we're just going to extend the arms, but keep the shoulders where they are. So it's a slow extension. Yes, lovely, good. If it feels okay for the shoulders, you can bring your palms together. If it's there for you, beautiful. So we're really getting into that upper body. Good, hands to mat. Sophie is huffing, which you might not have seen. Vinyasa. Always good to observe your students and see how they're responding to what you're teaching. Sometimes you might think it's quite straightforward or easy, and yeah, it's always good to get that dialogue going. Let's softly bend the knees, walk, jump to the front of the mat. As you inhale, float the chest up, lengthen. Exhale, fold and release. Let's roll up, sweep the arms up, take a nice big inhale. Exhale, hands to mat. Inhale, float the chest up, lengthen, look ahead, left leg back. Let's drop the left knee, point the toes, reach the arms up. And then take your hands behind your head and take that opening. So really finding it in your body. It's not a competition. You're not supposed to look like anybody. It really is about feeling what's right for yourself. And then we're going to take that extension, really getting into those shoulders. Beautiful. And then if the palms want to come together, feel free to take them together. And then maybe pull those forearms behind the ears a little bit more. Really beautiful. Excellent. And then release the hands to the mat. You can take a vinyasa or not. Okay, if it gets too much at any point, you can just ride the vinyasas out. They're really not essential. We want to take some to build the upper body strength, but if it's getting too much, then not necessary. Okay, let's softly bend the knees, walk, jump to the front of the mat. As you inhale, float your chest up, keep your feet hip width apart. And exhale, fold and hold. Let's just take a few breaths here. Lovely. Yeah, nice deep breaths. So really draw the energy up the back of the legs into the sitting bones. Yeah, lovely. And then hinge from the hips. So really feeling that release from the hip flexor. Draw the crown of the head towards the ground. So not the nose to the knees, but the crown of the head towards the ground. That's it. Lovely. Yeah, nice, Sophie. Good movement. Good. Lovely. Okay, and then let's slowly roll up. We're going to take a chair pose here. So you can either keep your feet hip width apart, or you can bring them together if you want. We're going to sit nice and low, lift, reach the fingertips up, and then release the hands to the mat. If you want to go through a vinyasa, you're welcome to, or you can just step into downward dog. If you go through a vinyasa, you can step or jump. Beautiful. Inhale to cobra or upward dog, exhale to downward dog. And we had a really lovely chaturanga demo from Luana there. Okay, and then we're going to reach the right leg up. If it feels nice and you want to take a bit of a hip opening here, feel free to kind of play around with things. Yeah, lovely. And then we're going to step that right foot in between the hands, nice and lightly, and come into warrior one. So we've already done a lot of heart opening, and maybe that will allow you to go quite deep into your warrior one this time. Lovely. So really finding the back bend in warrior one. Yeah, and you can bring the palms together as Sophie has done. And Luana is pulling the arms slightly behind her ears because she's opened her shoulders nicely. They're naturally open, but there is a bit of extra space there maybe from what we've done so far. Lovely. And then release the hands to the mat, vinyasa, or just straight into downward dog. Okay, we've taken quite a few vinyasas, so you can always ride them out. Excellent. And then we're going to take the left leg up and back, and maybe a bit of hip opening, a bit of play here. Excellent. And then step that left foot through in between your hands, taking warrior one. Once again, focusing on the opening in the upper body. So finding that back bending action. And we call it back bending. It really is chest opening. So we're not like bending our back. That doesn't feel great. So that lift, that length, that chest opening happening. Beautiful. Yeah. And then release the hands to the mat, vinyasa, straight into downward dog. Take a few breaths in downward dog. So just allow the spine to come back to neutral. Nice and long. Maybe a little bit of Uddiyana Bandha engagement. Brilliant. Okay, we're going to take the right leg up and back. Excellent. And then we're going to take the right knee into the chest and come into a warrior two. And we're just going to hold it. So just come into warrior two, extend your right arm forwards, your left arm back. And here you might want to place your blocks inside your foot. So if you're going to work with the block, feel free to place it inside your foot. Lovely. Good. We're going to reverse our warrior here. And then we're going to take our right hand to the block and our left arm up to the ceiling. Good. Yeah, take it to the ceiling. We're going to wrap that arm behind our back. Yeah. So Sophie, just twist the chest a little bit more towards the ceiling and then bring the body back a little bit towards Luana. And tuck your right hip under a little bit more. That's it. And then really find that rotation through the upper body. Breathe here. Good. So we're going to keep that arm behind our back and we're going to reverse. So we're going to reverse once again, but keeping the left arm behind our back. And then we're going to straighten the front leg. So straighten, lengthen that right arm towards the front of the room. So you're coming into your Uchita Konasana with the bind. Your right hand is on the block. Yeah, and then really spin that upper body, Sophie. So really find that rotation into the upper back. We've created space there. Just pull your right hip back a little bit. That's it. Hoover it in. Yes. And then you'll find a bit more space in that upper body. Brilliant. Nice and long through the side body. Okay, now we're going to unravel that left arm and reach it up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to come up to standing. And we're going to bring the feet parallel. Yeah, so this is Sophie's favorite pose. We're going to reach the arms up. We're going to take the hands behind our back, interlace the fingers, open the chest, and fold forwards. Lovely. Yeah. If you just bring your weight slightly forwards, you're not going to topple over. Just see how that works for you. You can bend the knees and just bring the hips a little bit further forwards, not so far back. That's it. And then just let the crown of the head melt towards the ground. Good, beautiful. And Luana, you can bring the heels of the hands together. You've got lots of space in those shoulders. So if you want to press the heels of the hands together, brilliant. Yeah, Sophie as well, excellent. I still struggle to do that after over 20 years of practice. So it doesn't work for all shoulders. Excellent. Let's take our hands to our lower back. We're going to roll all the way up and you're going to take a warrior two facing towards me. So your right foot forwards, right arm forwards, left arm back. We're going to reverse that warrior, so take it back. And we're going to windmill the hands down to the mat. Take a twisted lunge towards the back of the room. And then release your right hand to your mat. Come into a three-legged dog. Excellent. Now your right foot is going to step through. And we're going to come into a high lunge. So float the arms up. Let's bring the hands to prayer at the heart. We're going to start twisting towards the back of the room. So Parivrita Parashvakonasana. Yeah, lovely. Good. Excellent. And the back legs are super activated, which is beautiful. So if you can just float that chest up a little bit more, excellent. Good. And then just press the elbow into the knee to rotate the chest. Lovely. Let's float the arms up. High lunge. And then release the hands to the mat. We can take a vinyasa here or just come straight into downward dog. Your choice. Excellent. Let's take the left leg up and back. We're going to step the left foot through and we're going to come into a warrior two. So your left arm is going to come forwards, your right arm back. Yeah, and we're going to hold it just for a few breaths. If you want to place that brick inside your foot, feel free to grab it and place it inside the left foot. Excellent. Sometimes it just gives us, even though we can do it without a brick, it gives us a little bit more room, especially since we're working into the upper parts of the body, to get that rotation. So let's reverse. And then take your left hand to the brick, reach the right arm up to the ceiling. Yeah, just take a moment to set things here. So you want to scoop that left hip under. Yes, brilliant. And really get the length in the upper body, and then take the arm behind your back. That's brilliant. Very nice. And then just take a little bit of rotation through the ribs. So as if you want to shine the center of your chest towards the ceiling. Good. Lovely. And then we're going to reverse through here, keeping the right arm behind our back. And we're going to take the left hand to the brick. With the front leg straight. Sorry, I didn't cue that properly. So that's bad cueing, okay? So lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Release your left hand to the brick and look over your right shoulder. So for Uchita Konasana with a bind. Lovely. And Sophie, you can pull the body a little bit towards the camera or towards... Yes, there you go. And lengthen the crown of the head in that direction. Brilliant. Nice. And then you're going to float the right arm up to the ceiling. Come all the way up. And we're going to come back into Pasarita, parallel feet. We're going to interlace the fingers behind your back. And you might want to swap the finger that is in front. Inhale, lift and open. And exhale, fold, hinging from the hips, taking a forward fold. And both Luana and Sophie were bringing the heels of the hands together. It might not work for you, okay? You can keep the hands like this, or you can bring them close together. Excellent. Just relax the neck and the shoulders. That's it. Beautiful. And then take the hands to the waist. Let's roll ourselves up. Let's turn the left toes towards the front of the room into Warrior Two once again. And then we're going to reverse it. Windmill the hands to the mat. And then just take a twist. Right hand down, left arm up. Left hand down, three-legged dog. Left leg up and back. We're going to step the left foot through nice and lightly. And come into a high lunge. Float the arms up. Excellent. Bring the hands to prayer. And we're going to come into our twisted lunge here. So, Parivrita Konasana, lovely, good. Yeah, pressing the elbow into the knee, pressing the hands into each other. So, if you use that action, you can kind of squeeze the chest through a little bit more, beautiful, and the crown of the head is moving towards the front of your mat. And then we're going to float the arms up, inhale. Hands to mat, vinyasa, or just straight into a downward dog, your choice. Let's take a few breaths there. Brilliant. Let's softly bend those knees, walk, jump to the front of the mat. As you inhale, float the chest up, lift, exhale, fold, and then roll yourselves up. So just come to stand with both feet together, hands to prayer. Just take a moment here, breathing, standing, connecting, grounding, lifting. So maybe you can feel that space that you've created in the upper body. We're going to do a little bit of prep work for dancer's pose. So we're just going to grab the right foot. We're not going to go into full dancer's pose, but we're just going to grab the right foot, keep the knees together, and I really want you to just focus on opening that right quadricep. So the pubic bone just zips up slightly, the left arm can reach up, and just find that quad stretch in your own body. Lovely. Yeah, you might want to bring the knees together just to get a slightly stronger quad stretch. Yeah. Good. And then just release the foot and take the other side. Excellent. Lovely. Nice and steady. So your gaze is on a fixed point ahead of you. Brilliant. And then release the foot. So we're going to take another round of standing postures, just to open up the body a little bit more so that we can get to our peak poses. We've got 2 peak poses today. We're going to come into a chair pose. So sitting nice and low, reaching the arms forwards. Release the hands to the mat. You can take a vinyasa or just step into a downward dog, your choice. Let's take the right leg up and back. Take the right knee into the chest, step the right foot through, come into Warrior 2. Excellent. If you want to place the brick inside the foot, you may. We're going to go for the full bind now. So I'm going to give you options. If the full bind doesn't work, you don't have to take it. If you want to use a strap for the full bind, you can. So we're going to reverse and then just release the right hand inside the foot to brick or not. Left arm up and then wrap it behind your back. Lovely. And then you can take that right arm through underneath your knee and come into the full bind if you want to go for the full bind. And if the full bind isn't there for you, you could use a strap. Do you want to use the strap, Lana? Yeah? There. So you can use the strap to work into that full bind. Lovely. Yeah. Good. Nice deep breaths. Breathing in. Breathing out. Good. Couple more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. So just unravel nice and slowly and mindfully. And we're going to reverse all the way back. And then we're going to straighten the front leg. So we're going to come back into Uchita Konasana, lengthening the right fingertips towards the front of the room. Release the right hand inside the foot or on a block. And then we're going to wrap the left arm behind the back once again. Yeah, and there is the option here to take the full bind. It's quite strong. And if you're going to go for the full bind, you probably need to bend that front knee a little bit first, bind, and then straighten. Okay? No takers here? Yeah, and you might not get the leg fully straight. So Sophie's almost there, but not quite to straight leg. Doesn't matter, okay? She's fully in the pose. Otherwise, excellent. And then we're slowly going to unravel and come up to standing. So we're going to come back into Pasarita, but this time we're going to take the hands behind our back. So either taking hold of elbows, or you can bring the hands into reverse namaste, reverse prayer. So your choice. Do what works for you. Inhale, lift and open. And exhale, folding from the hips. Yeah, take your time. That's it, Sophie. Just go nice and slowly and kind of explore the pose. And don't go any deeper than you need to. Yeah. Good. So Sophie, just turn the toes in a little bit. You can probably get a little bit more traction into the outer seams of the legs there. And then let's slowly come up. Let's come into Warrior 2 to face the front of the room. So unraveling those arms nice and mindfully. Reverse, take it back. And windmill the hands to the mat. Take a twisted lunge. So left hand down, right arm up. Right hand down, three-legged dog. Right leg up and back. And take your right knee to your chest. Step your right foot through. Come into a high lunge. So we're going to take our twisted lunge once again, our Parivrita Parshva Konasana. So you're going to bring your hands to prayer. You're going to twist towards me. And there's an option here to split the arms. So to take the left hand outside the foot, the right arm up. Yeah, and you can use the block as Luana is demoing. Lovely. If that's enough for you, you stay there. If you want to go further, the hand is down to the mat, one arm is up, and then you can reach that arm over the ear. It is a really strong version. Yeah, and then pull that arm back a little bit and open the chest. Beautiful. Breathe there. Okay. The very serious faces. We're slowly going to come out of it, come up into a high lunge, and release the hands to the mat. Let's just come straight into downward dog. If you want a vinyasa, go for it, of course, but straight into downward dog is good enough. Okay, all of that on the other side, left leg up. And we're going to step the left foot through, coming into warrior two. Don't rush, Luana, it's fine. We'll wait for you, don't worry. Good. Lovely. Excellent. So place your block inside your foot if you're going to use it. We're going to go for the full bind. So we're going to reverse. Hand to block or to mat. Yeah, right arm up, right arm behind your back, and this is a good view for you to see the strap work that Luana is doing here. Yeah, lovely. So you can use the strap or not. Yeah, excellent. Take a few breaths there. Lovely. Good, nice deep breaths. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breath in. Breath out. Let's slowly unravel. Come into reverse warrior. So just make your way there gradually, mindfully. And then we're going to straighten that front leg. So coming back into Trikonasana. So left hand either to shin or to brick. And right arm behind your back. Excellent. And if you want to go for the full bind, I would suggest you just bend the knee a little bit to bind. And then you straighten the leg. And it might not be fully straight. Fully straight is really strong. Beautiful. Very nice. Yeah. So just choose the variation that works for you. Breathe there. Just move the back of the head back a little bit, Sophie. That's it. Lovely. Excellent. We're slowly going to unravel. You can bend the knee to unravel, Sophie. Yeah. And then come all the way up. Parallel your feet, reach your arms up, take your hands behind your back. You can take them, so either holding the elbows or reverse namaste, reverse prayer. Yeah. Lift and open the chest and fold forwards. Take a few breaths there. Nice steady breaths, breathing in and breathing out. Breath in. Breath out. Okay, and then we're slowly going to roll all the way up. Turn towards the front of the room in warrior two. Reverse it. Windmill the hands down to the mat. Right hand down, left arm up. Yeah. Left hand down, three-legged dog. And then step the left foot through, come into a high lunge. And we're going to take that twist once again. So bringing the hands to prayer, twisting towards your left knee. Yeah, and Luana's placing her block for her split arms, so using the support. Yeah, and then if you want to split the arms, you have the option to split the arms. And you can either keep that left arm up, or if you want to go a little bit deeper, reach it over your ear towards the front of the room. It's a really strong pose. So Sophie, bring the back of your head a little bit towards Luana. Yeah, lovely. Excellent. Those legs are getting strong, aren't they? And then we're slowly going to come back into a high lunge, just nice and mindfully and gracefully, and release the hands to the mat. You can take a vinyasa or just straight into your downward dog. Beautiful. Let's make our way to the front of the mat, stepping, jumping. Lengthening the spine, looking ahead. Exhale, fold. Let's roll up, sweep the arms up. Big inhale. And exhale, hands to heart. So I'm going to show you two options of dancer's pose. Who wants to work with a strap? So do you want to do it with a strap? Okay. So I'm just going to prep the strap here for Sophie. So I'm putting it once through both loops, and then I'm bringing it back on itself over the first loop and under the second. Okay, I'm sure you all know how to do a strap. And then we're going to pull it. Okay, so we're going to start with the right foot, and Sophie's going to take that strap around the right foot. Luana's going to take the right foot into her hand. So you can take the top of the foot. I love taking my ankle. I really like that. I find I get a lot more energy in the pose that way, but it is up to you. Yeah, so right foot, Luana, or right ankle, up to you, whatever you prefer. And then, Sophie, you're going to take the strap with both hands. Yeah, lovely. And then we're going to press the foot either into the strap or into the hand and come into dancer's pose. Lovely. Good. Really nice. And with the strap, it's forcing Sophie to keep her hips in alignment. Yes, and Luana has moved her right hip forwards, which is what you want to do. Press the foot away, Luana, and slide the right hip forwards as you do that. Beautiful. Lovely. Lift the chest, lift the chest. So now you can see why we've done all the work we did before. Okay, and then we're slowly going to release. And then you're just going to do the other side. So take your left foot or your left foot into your strap and just give it a try. And sometimes when you're teaching this, you might want to get people close to the wall. So these ladies are very stable and very experienced yogis. But for some people, the wall can be a good place to work on this pose. Lovely. Yeah, lift the chest, Sophie. Just keep it light. You're working really hard into those arms, I can see. Good, lovely. And then come up. Brilliant. Let's float the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, the hands down. Just step into a downward dog. And take a few breaths there. If it feels nice to rock the hips from side to side, feel free to do that just to get a bit of release. We're going to take one more back bend. So as I mentioned, we have two peak poses, dancers and camel. So we're going to drop the knees to the mat and we're just going to sit on our heels for a moment. So just come and sit onto the heels, bring your hands to your thighs and just connect with your lower back and let it relax. But you're not relaxing it to the point where you're rounding and slouching. You're sitting nice and upright, but just allowing the fascia in the lower back to release. That's it. Now let's come up, so onto the knees, and you can tuck your toes under, or you can keep the toes pointed. It's up to you. You know how deep your back bend can be. And we're just going to take the right hand to the right heel and lift the left arm up. If this is too strong for you, you can always take your right hand to your lower back and lift the left arm up. Okay, so hand to heel is just a variation, and that's really beautiful. So keep moving that right hip forwards and really lifting and opening through the front body. That's it. If you want to take the back of the head and hold it, as we did in the other postures, you can do that. And you might want to drop the head into the hand if that feels okay, but move the hips forwards as you do that. Lift the energy into the heart space. Reach your left arm up and come up and just take the other side. So left hand to left heel or left hand to lower back, right arm up. Yeah, just find the pose, and then when you feel ready, you can take the back of the head and drop the back of the head into the hand. Just make sure that's okay for your neck. So we're really working into the throat chakra here, heart chakra and throat chakra. And it can get really sticky in there. Sometimes we can feel quite emotional in these poses. It's normal. Reach your right arm up Come all the way up and just sit once again onto your heels. So point the toes, sit back and relax the lower back. We will release it in a moment, okay? But we're just going to take the full pose first. Okay, let's come up. And you can either take both hands onto your lower back, both hands onto your heels with toes tucked under or with toes pointed, okay? It depends how deep you can go. So Sophie's got her toes pointed, Luana has her toes tucked under. We're going to take both hands either to the heels or to the lower back, as Luana is showing us beautifully. And she's really squeezing her shoulder blades in and the elbows towards each other, which is just beautiful. Yeah, and Sophie's going for the deeper version. And Sophie at the moment has her chin up, which is fine. But if you want to drop the head back and that feels okay for your neck, feel free to do that. Beautiful, lovely. Let's come all the way up. And let's come and sit onto the heels once again for a moment. Yeah, so we're just going to do a little bit of core to release the lower back, and then we're going to do some lower back releases and stretches, okay? So sit to the side of your heels. We're just going to take a boat pose, a Navasana. So we're going to bring the feet up, reach the arms forward so you can straighten the legs or you can keep them bent. Yeah, don't feel the need to go too high, Luana, if it's not working for you today. Just be where you need to be. Lovely. It's not a boat pose day, is it? Okay, and then release the feet, release the hands, come into reverse tabletop. So take your hands behind you, press into the feet, lift the hips. We are going to twist and stretch and release everything now. Release the hips down. Okay, so we're going to sit nice and tall and take your right foot over your left leg. Take your right hand behind you, reach your left arm up, hook the left elbow outside the left knee, and you're going to look over your right shoulder. Hopefully this is feeling really nice after the work we've done. Good. For Matsyendrasana. Lovely. And then just counter twist to the other side, just briefly. And come back to center. Now we're going to bend that right knee, keeping the foot inside the thigh, so just move the foot. And you can open that right knee. We're going to take a side stretch. And don't worry about how far you're going. It's just really something we're using as a counter pose to open up the lower back now. So as long as you're feeling that opening through here, that's, yeah, go for it, Luana. Yeah, good. Excellent. And then let's sit up. And then you're going to turn towards the front leg and we're going to come into a forward fold. So folding over that left leg. And we've done a lot of back bending today. So if you feel that you don't want to take a strong forward fold, that's absolutely fine. Okay, you can come into kind of a half forward fold. It doesn't need to be too deep. Just listen to your body. We're just using it as a counter pose. Brilliant. And then let's roll up. Let's just swap legs over. So stretch your right leg, bend your left knee and take your left foot over the right leg and take your twist. So your left hand is coming behind you. Your right arm is going to reach up to the ceiling, right elbow outside the knee. Look over your shoulder, breathe there, sit tall. So lift that heart we've been working on. Yeah, lovely. But do relax the shoulders. Yeah, beautiful. And then we're going to counter twist towards me. And then come back to center. Take your left foot into your right inner thigh and then take that side stretch. So that right hand towards your right foot, that left arm over your ear. Yeah. And then just pull that left arm back a little bit, Luana, as we were doing in some of the postures we did today. Yeah, that's beautiful, lovely, creating space in the upper back and the shoulders. Beautiful. And then come up and fold over that right leg. So turn towards the right leg, fold over it. Lovely. Just breathe into the length of the spine, but as I mentioned before, it doesn't have to be a super strong forward fold. It really could just be something like that. It's just to counterbalance from the strong back bends we did. And then we're going to roll up. We're going to stretch both legs out. If you wanted to sit on a block here, you'd be most welcome to do so. Sit nice and tall, lengthen. And we're going to go into forward fold. But here as well, if you just want to take a small forward fold after your back bends, that's fine. If you feel that there is space to go deeper, by all means, explore that. But just do what feels right for your spine. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Inhaling to find length. Exhaling to let go. 2 more. Inhale to find length. Exhale to let go. 1 more. Inhale. And release. Let's roll up. We're going to roll onto our backs. So you can just bend your knees and roll down nice and slowly. Give your knees a nice big hug into the chest. Take a little rock from side to side. Just to any move that feels good. And then stretch the arms out to the side. We'll just take a supine twist before coming into Shavasana. So knees to the right or to the left, it doesn't matter. Whatever feels good, don't worry, it doesn't matter. As long as you do both sides. Just take a few resting breaths there. And then to the other side. And then let's come back to center. We're going to come into Shavasana, so you can stretch your legs out, or if you prefer, you could keep the knees bent, really up to you. Breathing deeply and fully, but without effort. So the breath is just flowing in and out through both nostrils. And you're welcome to spend a bit more time in your Shavasana. If you want your Shavasana to be followed by a guided meditation or a bit of pranayama work, feel free to take that now. We're going to leave you here. Thank you so much for practicing with us today. Namaste.